What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here. Nothing's changed! We are still where we were last season, which is barely fighting for a top four spot, and it's going to take either Arsenal or Tottenham slipping up, just like last season, how Leicester slipped up on the last day to let us into the top four. Yeah, that's what we're going to have to rely on again this year, because we're not doing our jobs. We're not. We're just saying, you know what? Let's just go out there, let's just have fun, guys, because we got nothing to fight for, right? Oh crap, they're right there below us. We got nothing to fight for. The Arsenal game, the Man U game, now the Everton game, all of them. All of them perfect examples of the fact that, for whatever reason, we feel like we've got nothing to fight for. We should be busting it to every freaking ball. Just like Everton were today, because they've got something to fight for. They're fighting to stay out of relegation. We should be fighting to stay in the top four. But it's almost like we feel comfortable because, we have 2 games at hand and we're like 5 points ahead of Tottenham. We're fine. We got 1 game at hand and we're like 5 points ahead of Arsenal. We're fine. We're still 6 points ahead of Arsenal. We're fine. At what point do we finally say, you know what? Maybe we should start winning some of these games, so instead of just saying, oh, it's okay, we've still got time, we can go ahead and say, no, we're comfortably top 4. And it doesn't matter now if we win or lose the last 3 games, but now it really freaking matters. Because we didn't do our damn jobs. So, yeah, prepare for a very scathing review because this was absolutely a ridiculous performance all around. First of all, starting with the referees. Because I don't know when this happened that we stopped fining coaches for talking bad about the referees. But, yeah, Lampard's gotten away with a lot this season, so much so to where now it feels like Kevin Friend today was almost like, oh, I don't want to upset him. I'm going to give everything Everton's way, and I'm going to ignore everything and all the little aggressions and the chippy stuff that Everton's do. I'm going to ignore all of that, and I'm just going to focus on the reaction from the Chelsea players, because, yeah, that's what a good referee does. That's what a naive referee does. And you could tell from the outset, because Rudiger goes into a challenge on Coleman, and it was a stupid challenge. Like, he was clearly, it's a yellow card, and it was a dumb challenge to go into because you have the pace to keep up with him, but talk about Rudiger in a second. But Coleman stands up all angry and shoves him back to the ground, and nothing from the referee. No card, no talking to for Coleman. And I'm just like, oh, okay, so that's fine then? It's okay for him to react like that and give Rudiger a little shove back to the ground. And, Mino was definitely one of the worst ones today. Just the little pulls. The one that Mount got the yellow for, he just, throws his butt into Mount and then basically falls over into Mount. And then Mount somehow gets a yellow for it. And, of course, that sparks the coming together because Coleman was just yapping all day today. And that got us quite heated. So, yeah, we've got to do our part to not give in to their mind games. But the referee also has to see all the little aggressions that are... for instance, Mina, at the very end, gets Havertz a yellow card because he gives him a little, buck up in his face, and Havertz shoves him, and then he flops over like he just got shot, and the referee is just like, oh, Havertz, you can't do that. Now, again, talk about Havertz, because he was the biggest idiot of them all today, but, the referee has to see that stuff too, and he didn't see any of the stuff that Everton was doing today. It was all focused on, oh, is he going to react? Is he gonna... He reacted. That's a yellow card. You can't react to him bucking up in your face like that. Come on. So, but, no, let's go ahead and talk about Tuchel because, yeah, Havertz should have come off while I'm on that topic because that was a stupid sub to bring off Werner, one of your more influential players. Spilicueta, I guess, he was playing a little bit more emotionally and he was on a yellow, so... Maybe you don't want to risk him making another mistake. Maybe you want to bring on some more attacking talent, move James back, and have a winger like Ziyech or Pulisic out there. That's a fine sub. But yeah, Werner coming off. No reason for that, especially when Havertz was... I don't know if he did anything effective today. He had the one header that dropped down to Mount that came off the post. But aside from that... I can't think of anything effective he did today. He did a lot of effective stuff for Everton, like getting involved with Mina time and time again. But nothing for us. So why didn't he come off? Oh, well, we need a target man. Why do we need a target man? None of our crosses are coming off today. Nobody's crossing well today. Why do we need a freaking target man? We need people who are going to be in there and they're going to interchange well and they're going to move the ball quickly. And Havertz was not doing any of that. So why was he still out there, Tuchel? No reason. It's just because, oh, well, he needs to fit this certain style that I play, so I'm going to leave him out there so he can continue to be ineffective. So that was dumb. The Kovacic for Jorginho sub at halftime, I mean, just it might have paid dividends if we hadn't made an early mistake in the second half, but I don't know. Just I don't know why Kovacic didn't start over Jorginho. Just throwing that one out there because we could have used a little bit more energy today since we knew Everton was going to come at us 110%. But yeah, I mean, for Tuchel, it comes down to the tactics. Like, we're still playing the slow possession-based build-up play, and it's not working against teams like this. This is exactly where we were last year. We can't break down teams because it's too slow. It's too methodical build-up, looking for that perfect pass instead of let's move the ball quickly. Let's get it out wide, drop it back. Is there a cross? No, drop it back. Play it around, get it to the other side. Cross there? No, drop it back. Is there a ball in? Okay. Just moving it faster. Moving it with some desire, like you want to get the ball into the box and actually make something happen. Not looking for that perfect pass while three guys are closing you down. I mean, that's basically what it was today. It was embarrassing to watch because we had nothing to show for it. We had that one. We finally started playing it quick, and suddenly we have like 2 or 3 great chances on target. And then we didn't for the rest of the half. I don't know what happened. We suddenly turned it on. We're like, yeah, let's move it quickly. Let's get the ball in quickly. Let's try to knock it around. Movement off the ball. And suddenly, off the post, great save from Pickford. Cross comes in, another great save from Pickford. Suddenly we're creating chances, guys. It's almost like fast movement off the ball and quick passing creates chances. That's crazy. I didn't know that would happen. So yeah, I think Tuchel is very good at managing a single game. He's shown he can do it in a one-off game. That's why, I mean, he's made it to several finals with Chelsea. However, season long, I don't think he knows how to manage that. I don't think he knows how to manage, okay, we need to rest some players here so we can get this result. We need to play a little bit differently against this team because we've got this game coming up, so we don't need to use all our energy here, but we do need to try to press them a bit harder. We need to prepare for them to come out a bit quicker because they're fighting for relegation. He doesn't seem to get that every game in a season is going to be a little different. Whereas most games in a tournament, you have the one game and you're done. So it's like he knows how to handle that, but he doesn't know how to handle whenever you're facing one team that's basically kind of out of it this season and they don't really have anything to fight for. And so let's go put the game away early and get the job done. And then you go into this next game against a team who's fighting for their lives. So maybe be prepared for a quick step. And he didn't set us up all well for that today. So yeah, I don't think we're ever going to win the title with Tuchel in charge. And some of it is he doesn't have the quality in certain areas, but even if he did, I don't trust the fact that he's going to utilize that quality in an effective way because, as we've seen, we've had several quality players with him in charge that just have not been effective at all. Timo Werner, Kai Havertz. So, anyways, on to individuals. Mendy, I mean, made some good saves and then just unfortunate on the goal. It's not much he can do for it. It's a one-on-one situation, so nothing really to say for him. Azpilicueta, obviously the mistake for the goal was bad. You gotta know they're gonna press hard just like they did in the first half. Because honestly, first half it did seem like we knew they were gonna press because we were actually looking to move it a bit quicker around the back because we were ready for them to step out. But second half, it's like we came out and we're like, all right, well they're probably gonna step off now, right? What? But yeah, I mean, in a game like this though, honestly, what it was gonna come down to because Everton's finishing is not great as we saw with. The couple chances where they were basically in and they skied it, they weren't going to score any goals from breaking us down with their passing. The goal was going to come from our mistake. So it was just a matter of, are we going to make a mistake? And if so, who's going to make it? And it just happened to be Azpilicueta. So, yeah. I mean, I hate it for him because he's a great player. And I don't think this tarnishes his ability at all. But, yeah, he's not great on the ball. And I don't know why we're looking to keep a whole lot of possession in our backfield anyway, when we know they're going to press us high. Like, we should look to try to get it down the field, and yet we still continue to just knock it back and forth around the back. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is his fault, but I'm also sitting here wondering why aren't we looking to move the ball past our back line? And honestly, something else that I noticed, and this is something I'm now wondering if this is part of Tuchel's plan because we've seen it before. James went sprinting down the field, so Spilicueta didn't really have an option on that right side. So I think that he looked to play, and then there wasn't anybody there, so he was trying to see if he had another option, and then that's when he got poked off of him. And we've seen that happen before because it happened in the Real Madrid game with Conte. You know, he's looking to play Loftus-Cheek, who's now sprinting down the line behind the defense, and it's like last minutes of the game. We're looking to just keep possession there. And I think same thing here. We're looking to just keep possession. So why does he constantly have his wingbacks go sprinting down the field like, oh yeah, just hit me down the line. I know it's not really on right now because the defenders are completely aware of it, but yeah, go ahead, try to play me. Instead of just checking back to your feet so that way we can use you as an easy option. So again, I'm not saying that James has I don't know. I think he does have a little bit of blame in this goal, but I'm not saying it's the majority of the blame. It's still Spilicueta should know to just get rid of it if in doubt. Silva, I mean, for the most part, was perfectly fine today. He had to deal with a lot of stupid decisions from the midfield to give the ball away, and then he had to read it, win the ball back. By the end of the game, though, you could tell he was getting winded because he started to go lunging into some challenges. So, I mean, he's still a quality player. We still need him. I hate the fact that we can't really rest him right now because we do need him to save his legs, but I mean, who are we going to play over him? Because he's easily our best defender right now. So yeah, on to Rudiger. This is, again, another Rudiger performance that shows me that there's better options out there. From the first challenge that he goes into on Coleman, very early on in the game too, which instantly puts him under pressure. I mean, that was a stupid decision. And then just so many of his decisions today, when to step, when to win the ball back, when he has the ball, when to go long versus when to keep it short. Like, half of his decisions were completely wrong today. So he just has these games in him where just suddenly he takes his brain out and sets it in the bench in the locker room and says, all right, let's go, guys. I'm ready to go. And just stupid decisions just throughout the game. Thankfully, none of them hurt us, but they could. You know, again, looking back at the Man U game, stupid decision to get booked for Mata and then goes in with his foot, could have gotten his second yellow. Today, I mean, stupid to get booked so early on, and now you've got to play the rest of the game basically carefully, which then leads to moments where normally he would be going in hard and strong to a defensive challenge, but now he has to worry about getting a second yellow, so now he goes in a little softer, and he gets beat. So it's dumb to make that decision so early on in the game, especially, again, when there was no real danger there, because, again, he's faster than Coleman, so he should just run alongside him instead of diving in like an idiot. So, yeah, I am sad for the games that we've seen him play very well. I'm sad to see that Rudiger go, but I'm not sad to see this Rudiger go, because this Rudiger is frustrating. For me, a person who was a defender, I hate to watch this Rudiger play, because this Rudiger makes me think of why I don't like Van Dijk that much. It's like, oh, well, he's super fast, super strong, but he's kind of an idiot sometimes with his positioning and when he goes into challenges. Onto the wingbacks, both of them today were absolutely awful. And it just came down to they didn't have time to play on the wings. And they should have realized that and started to play quicker, but neither of them did. I mean, Alonso today, just way too slow, and he's not the quickest player, we know this, but he's still clever enough to know how to get out of a tight situation, whether it's laying it off to somebody or even just banging it off them and getting a throw. But most of the time it ended with Everton have the ball because, yeah, he had no answers today for how much pressure they were putting on him. So it was frustrating to watch there. And then James, everybody was praising his performance against Man U because of how many, I guess, crosses and how many passes he put in. How many of those crosses worked out? We scored one goal, guys. We scored one goal, and James had so many crosses, but we scored one goal. Today, he had so many chances to do anything with it. He's got the ball out wide, he's got plenty of time, and then he takes 3 touches, he picks his head up, and then he's closed down. Can't do anything. Moments where he would get the cross in, right to an Everton defender. Almost never put it on one of our players. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know he's got the quality. I know he can do it. He's not doing it right now. And whether that's because he's still returning from the injury, whether it's because he's maybe feeling it a little bit because he's played 2 games in a row, I don't know. But today we needed quality Reece James crosses and quality Reece James service today, and I don't think one came off. I think almost at least 80% of his crosses went to an Everton defender, and then his shots as well. I mean, you got to know when to take a shot and when not to. And when you've got a player closing you down, like right there, you got to know you can't take the shot because it's just going to bounce off of them and then go behind you, and now you're beat and they're running onto it. And he took that shot like 3 times today. So, yeah, he's not playing intelligently right now. He's making a lot of dumb decisions in the final third, and his quality on his crosses, it's got to get better because we've seen better from him, and it's not there right now. And it's really showing because as many times as he's had a chance to make something happen in the past 2 games, he's done nothing with it. So, into the midfield, Jorginho, I'll talk about him first since he came off at halftime. Yeah, couldn't cope with the pressure, couldn't cope with the speed of it, too many misplaced passes, and yeah, I don't really remember much from him because of that. Although, to be fair, most of the time when I don't remember much from him, it's also because he's not doing a whole lot bad either, because I tend to remember the bad more than the good because he tends to do more bad than good for us. So yeah, but I just remember there were moments throughout the game that he couldn't keep up with the pace. He couldn't keep up with how quick they were trying to get at us and trying to make us lose possession. And yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised because, again, I've seen this before from Jorginho, but Tuchel was apparently surprised. Thankfully, he made the change at halftime, but by then it was almost too late because Everton felt like they had the momentum, and sure enough, they did. And then Loftus-Cheek, for the most part, was fine. I still would like to see more productivity in the final third because he does well most of the time just throughout the field. Like, he does well to turn players, he does well to keep possession and drive at players. But yeah, in the final third is where he still really struggles because he just has no real idea what to do with it once he gets up there. Like, his passes are either a little too far or not to the right person when they had a ton of space in front of them. So yeah, I don't know. It's one of those where I can't be too frustrated with him because he did do a lot of good for us today, but at the same time we needed goals and he didn't give any of that to us today. Into the front three, again, the same front three unchanged, and I do think it's starting to wear on their legs because they're not nearly as effective right now. The first one I'll talk about with that in mind is Werner, because, I mean, he still works hard, he's still got a lot of energy, but you can tell his touch is not the same right now that it was in those couple games where he just he suddenly turned into one of the world's greatest strikers. He's not been that same player because he's played 3 more games in a row back to back to back, like within a few days. So I think he needs a bit more of a rest in between. I don't think he needs to be playing all these games so many. Even if he is getting subbed, I just expect more from him now because we saw what he could do in those games. But unfortunately, I just think he's not really getting the proper amount of rest in between to allow for him to continue to have not just the pace and the energy, but also that touch and that ability to get around defenders real quickly. Because, yeah, today he was just most of the time completely blocked out and he couldn't really get a good touch. Still worked very hard, though. Like, don't get me wrong. I still appreciated all the work he put in today, and I still don't know why he was subbed off when Havertz wasn't giving us anything. But I still think we needed a bit more from him today as far as his clinical nature. Mount also worked very hard and was a bit better today than he was against Man U, but I mean, still not the same effectiveness we've seen from him either. So, yeah, I think both of them have needed a rest. I think the Man U game is where you could have rested them because, I mean, their defense was so bad we could have brought in Ziyech and Pulisic in that game and made things happen. But, of course, Tuchel's a genius. He knows what he's doing, guys. That's why we're about to exit the top 4 in the next few games. He's a genius. But yeah, Mount today tried to make things happen, tried to find that killer pass or that killer shot, and unfortunately just a couple unlucky bounces and a couple of, dumb decisions again as far as when to take the shot and or who he's passing it to. But overall, it was perfectly fine from him. And then Havertz, yeah, like I said before, he was more interested today in playing into Everton's little mind games than he was in actually playing the game. And that's really what killed us because we needed him to be that focal point again where he gets on the ball and he tries to make things happen. But instead, he's giving in to every little chippy foul that Mina... Although, I will say, it probably did enter his mind because he got tripped up early on, right before Mount had our best chance in the first half. And the ref was just like, no, there's nothing there. I mean, I know he just clipped you, but no, there's nothing there. So it probably did enter his mind that that's kind of frustrating, and I get that. I mean, I've been in that situation where the ref doesn't call an obvious foul. It's frustrating. But you get up and you go again. But it's like, he just let it keep getting to him, and suddenly now he's just completely out of the game. And all he's focused on doing, there's a ball played forward, and he's just like grabbing onto Mina and just wrestling with him, looking at him instead of looking to see where the ball is, and then he just flops over, hoping to get something out of it. Just like... So basically what you're saying is you're done playing for us, and you're more just playing for yourself, because you want to try to get Mina sent off for something that's not happening. Cool. And yeah, it showed, because he was not involved for pretty much the entirety of the second half. You know, he had the one knockdown header for Mount that bounced off the post. But aside from that, I didn't see anything from him. I mean, I did. I just didn't see anything productive for us from him, because he was too focused on wrestling with Mina and playing into the mind games. And, he hit me, and he grabbed my breast, and oh my gosh, just play the game. Yeah, he's doing all that stuff. Friend's not calling any of it. And he's not going to. Especially the more you try to play it up like you really getting hurt, the more he's just going to be like, you know what? No, you're trying to con me now? Like, I was already against you because I don't want to get yelled at by Lampard, but now you're trying to actually con me into a foul? Now I'm really not calling anything for you. So, yeah, just stupid from him today. And we needed something else. And Tuchel's just like, no, we need that. We need that on the field. Werner, get your hard-working ass off my field. Havertz, you stay out there and you continue to do nothing for us. As far as the subs that came on, Kovacic, still returning from injury, so not the best Kovacic performance that we've seen, but still very effective in the second half. And probably some of our better chances came from his hard work. I would have liked a little bit better shot from him, the one chance that he did have, but I mean, under a bunch of pressure, he did well to get it out from under his feet. But yeah, he was definitely probably our best sub performance. The other two, Pulisic and Ziyech, I mean, both of them came on. They worked hard, but nothing really to play for. Because, again, Havertz was not giving them any options. So that's all they really had, is basically trying to find him at the end of a cross. So I would have liked a little bit more from Ziyech, though, because I know he has that ability. And he did take on a few players, which I'm glad to see that he's not lost that desire to try to make something happen. But his final product today was just a little bit off. And, I mean, some of that could be for the fact that Tuchel, for some odd, stupid-ass reason, will not play him. And yeah, I mean, if you don't give him time to continue to prove himself and to continue to grow on past performances, yeah, he's going to drop off a little bit. His touch isn't going to be the same. His crosses aren't going to be at the same level. And yet Tuchel's just like, no. I'm going to put Lukaku in against Man U instead of Ziyech. Because what we need right now, we need a striker who's going to go in there and stand and do nothing over this guy who's going to try to make something happen for us. Because I'm a genius. Yeah. And as far as Pulisic, I mean, we've seen this performance from before. He runs around, tries to make things happen, and then his last touch is just poor. Or his last pass is poor, and suddenly now Everton have the ball back, and they're clearing it, or they're making a run at us, or whatever. So, yeah. I mean, all in all, it is what it is. It's another drop 3 points in a season where we were fighting for the title early on, and then things, I mean, James and Chilwell getting injured, don't get me wrong, really hindered us, but I just feel like Tuchel's had no answers. Like, ever since then, he's had no answers. He's had us put in a couple decent performances. He had some good, I guess, tactical decisions or good switches throughout ever since we started dropping points in December. But, I mean, on the face of it, this has been a wash of a season. I mean, we won the Super Cup, which was great. We won the Club World Cup, which is great. And then since then, we've just petered off into nothingness. And to the point now where suddenly now our top 4 hopes certainly look a lot more under threat. And I mean, I would like to say, oh, no, it's fine. We'll pick up easy, like 3 or 6 points. I mean, sure, we got 4 games left. I'm sure we'll win at least 2 of them, and that will keep Tottenham out. Okay, but are we just happy with the fact that Arsenal's probably going to top us then? Because I don't know about my other Chelsea fans, but I've dealt with Arsenal fans in the past. And when you let them get one thing over, like honestly, that 4-2 defeat against them, that's going to be something, even if they don't top us for third, that's going to be something that they hold over our heads for like probably 2 seasons because they are smug as hell for any little thing that they can get out of us. So I don't want them to top us for third. I want to hold on to third, and I want it to be comfortable. And instead now, if they beat West Ham today, now all of a sudden it's 3 points to topping us. I don't know what the goal difference is, so maybe it'll actually not be topping us. But still, I mean, 4 games to go. If we beat them, if we beat Man U, and if we beat Everton today, 3 games which we easily should have won if we just played our game and played well, done our jobs, we'd have no problem. We'd even still be within the title race somewhat. I mean, granted, again, I don't think we actually had a chance the way Liverpool and Man City are playing right now and how much help they're getting from the referees, but we still at least would be within that run. But instead now we're having to worry about Arsenal and Tottenham. Are they going to catch us now? And yeah, I don't want to be in that position. That's where we were, again, last season. If not for Leicester dropping points on the last day, we would not have been in the top 4. Granted, we won the Champions League, so we still would have been in the Champions League. But the fact that we had to worry from where we were, Tuchel came in, got us back up. I think we were in 3rd for a little bit. And then suddenly now we drop points, and Liverpool overtakes us, and Leicester overtake us. And now it's like, oh crap, like now we're in an actual battle to keep our place when we really shouldn't have been. Because some of the games we were dropping points to, I mean, we should never have. We should not have dropped points in some of those games. Here's another example of a game where we should do our job. We should know they're going to come at us hard. We saw what they did against Liverpool. They're going to come at us hard. They're going to try to make us make a mistake. But we play our game. We play comfortably. We knock it through. We have some good movement up front. And eventually we'll find the goal because their defending is not great. But when you make the stupid mistake in the early second half and now suddenly all they have to do is sit in, yeah, now they can just wait and hope that we can't break them down. And most of the time, we can't break them down because we're not good at doing that. So, yeah, I don't know. I know that Tuchel's not leaving anytime soon because I know that winning the Champions League is still like a big thing for him and everybody still loves him because of that. But just watching these past few games, like even the West Ham result, there were still frustrations in that one as well. I'm just like, I would prefer to have a coach that comes in and just turns us into a Liverpool or Man City side. A side that's not scared to go at teams and really try to work them and bust it every single game. I just feel like we're so comfortable just knocking it around and playing nice and easy. And we go face a team like Man U that, I mean, just sit off of us. We're just like, all right, we'll knock it around. We'll create one chance in the first half. It's just, I knew going into this game it wasn't going to be good, based on that performance. I'm like, well, if we can't break down a Man U side that looks just awful defensively, how are we going to break down an Everton side that are going to be fighting for every single ball? So, yeah. That's my thoughts on it. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts in the game today? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all the good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Chelsea reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next game. Peace out.